The restaurant was quiet, except for the soft hum of a violin and the faint crackle of candles between them. Their laughter felt unforced, their hands almost touching across the table. He told her he'd never met anyone like her, yet his eyes, calm and unreadable, lingered a second too long on her necklace. The world felt like a dream stitched together by red wine and hope. Was this still a date? Or a setup she didn't see coming? The waiter poured another glass, the moment stretched thin as silk, trembling. She didn't notice the phone buzzing in his jacket pocket, nor the way he silenced it without looking. When he smiled again, something behind it cracked, like glass cooling too fast. By dessert, he leaned in close, whispered, "You'll love them," she laughed. "Unsure. Who?" He grinned. "My family." The words floated between them, too heavy too soon. Still, she nodded, thinking love must be fast when it feels right. If only she'd known what that invitation would cost her heart. 2 weeks later, they're walking along a quiet city park path, autumn leaves whispering beneath their shoes. The air smells like rain and cinnamon coffee from a nearby stand. He's more relaxed today, holding her hand like it's the most natural thing in the world. She tells him she's never met someone who makes everything feel simple. He laughs, softly, almost sadly. Then casually he says his family's been wanting to meet her. She hesitates. Already. His grin widens. "They'll love you." She studies his face, but he looks ahead, eyes following a family passing by. A mother, a father, a little girl. For the first time, she senses distance, a quiet sadness he doesn't explain. She agrees anyway, convincing herself it's just fast love. The park feels colder suddenly, the wind tugging at her scarf as though trying to warn her. The drive to his hometown feels endless. The radio hums with old songs neither of them know, the kind that fills silence without saying much. She leans against the window watching the countryside roll by, fields blurred with motion, clouds chasing sunlight. He's focused on the road, hands steady on the wheel, eyes lost somewhere far ahead. Every few minutes he glances at her, smiles, then looks away. The air between them feels stretched, like a string pulled too tight. She jokes about the playlist. He laughs, but it doesn't reach his eyes. When she asks how his family will react, he just says, "They've been waiting for this." She doesn't ask what this means. The road narrows, lined with trees, shadows flickering through the windshield like memories too dark to name. The house sits at the end of a gravel road, white shutters, roses climbing the porch railing. His mother opens the door before they even knock. Smiling too quickly, his father shakes her hand, firm but rehearsed. His sister hugs her tightly, too warmly. Everything feels polite, perfect, practiced. Family photos line the hallway, but the frames seem newly hung, dust-free, identical. The living room smells of lemon polish and something faintly metallic. As she sits, they watch her like she's being studied. Every question sounds kind, every smile controlled. Liam's hand on her shoulder feels protective, almost desperate. When his mother says, "We've heard so much about you," Emma forces a laugh, but wonders, how much could they really know? Dinner is beautiful, crystal glasses, linen napkins, laughter that sounds choreographed. His father tells a story about Liam winning a school race at 12. Liam cuts in quickly, saying it never happened. A silence falls, brief but sharp. The mother clears her throat, changes the topic. Emma glances at Liam, but he avoids her eyes, slicing his steak with too much focus. The sister nervously taps her fork against her plate. The sound echoes longer than it should. Emma forces a smile, trying to pretend it's fine, but the air feels too thick. The candles too bright. When dessert arrives, Liam's father says, "We're proud of the man he's become." Liam's jaw tightens, and Emma feels the first flicker of dread. Something about this family dinner feels staged, like a scene rehearsed too many times. Morning sunlight filters through lace curtains, painting soft patterns across the breakfast table. The family is already seated, every gesture perfectly in sync. Emma sits between Liam and his mother, who keeps glancing at her with a smile that never quite reaches her eyes. She asks about Emma's parents, her job, her past. Too many details too precisely. Liam occasionally interrupts, steering the conversation elsewhere, but his mother always circles back. The room smells like toast and tension. Emma answers politely, but her pulse quickens with each question. When she finally excuses herself, she catches the mother watching her leave, gaze cold and searching. For the first time, she realizes this isn't curiosity. It's evaluation. Later, while helping clear dishes, Emma notices Liam's phone light up again on the counter. A name flashes, just one letter and a heart emoji. He's across the room laughing with his sister, pretending not to see. The screen goes dark before she can read more. Her hands tremble as she stacks plates in the sink. When he comes over, he places his hand over hers gently, saying, "You don't need to help." His tone is kind but distant, like he's somewhere else entirely. She wants to ask who keeps calling, but fear knots her throat. The room hums with the sound of running water and unspoken things. He squeezes her hand once, too tightly, then walks away. While Liam steps outside to take a call, his sister joins Emma in the hallway, clutching a mug of tea. "You seem nice," she says softly, eyes darting to the window. "Just be careful." Her tone trembles, almost pleading. Emma freezes, unsure how to respond. Before she can ask what that means, the sister's smile snaps back into place, as if the words never happened. When Liam returns, she's already gone upstairs. He wraps his arm around Emma's waist and asks, "Everything okay?" She nods, forcing a smile. But her mind replays the sister's warning, word for word. The warmth of the house now feels like a trap. That evening, dinner starts light. The family toasts to new beginnings. Emma blushes, raising her glass. But when she mentions maybe joining Liam for a family trip someday, silence drops over the table like frost. His father's smile stiffens. His mother lowers her fork. Liam's eyes dart toward her, silently begging her to stop talking. "Well, see," his mother says gently, her voice too calm. The clink of cutlery resumes, mechanical and strained. Emma forces a laugh to break the tension, but it only echoes in the stillness. She realizes she's the only one pretending this is normal. Later that night, as the house quiets, Emma hears raised voices from the porch. She moves closer, stopping by the half-open window. Liam's voice, low and sharp. "You said this wouldn't happen again?" His father's reply is quieter, breaking with guilt. "You can't hide forever, son." Then silence. A long one. She backs away slowly, her chest tight. Upstairs, the floor creaks under her feet, but no one stirs. She lies awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, wondering what he's running from and whether she's already part of it. Morning sunlight filters through the half-open blinds of Liam's room. Emma lingers near his dresser, fingers tracing the edge of a silver photo frame. Inside, a picture. Him smiling with another woman. The same smile, same shirt, same necklace on his chest. Her heart stumbles. Dust hasn't even settled on the frame. It's not forgotten, it's kept. She glances toward the door, half expecting him to appear. For a long moment, the silence is unbearable. She sets the frame down gently, pretending it never happened. But as she turns to leave, she notices something written on the back. Forever. Her breath catches. Maybe it was an X. Maybe it wasn't. But deep down, she knows this isn't just a memory. It's a ghost, still living here. When Liam walks in, she's still holding the frame. "Who is she?" she asks, voice low. He freezes for half a second, then laughs softly. "Oh, that. Just an old friend. The words slide too easily off his tongue. She studies his face, waiting for the flinch, the hesitation, but it never comes. He takes the frame from her hand, sets it face down on the dresser. You worry too much. The room feels smaller now, the air heavy with something unspoken. He kisses her forehead, but she doesn't close her eyes. For the first time, she feels like she's standing beside a stranger who looks exactly like the man she thought she knew. At breakfast, the tension feels invisible, but it's everywhere. Emma sits quietly, stirring her coffee. Liam's mother chats lightly about recipes, avoiding eye contact. Then, absent-mindedly, she says, "Lily always loved this jam too." Silence. The spoon slips from Emma's fingers, clinking against the mug. The mother freezes, realizing her mistake. "I mean, Liam's friend," she stammers, glancing at him. Liam's expression hardens. No one speaks for several seconds. The sound of the clock ticking fills the air. Emma forces a smile, but her hands shake as she lifts her cup again. In that moment, she knows the woman in the photo had a name, and this family knew her. The next morning feels colder, even with sunlight spilling across the breakfast table. The air between them hums with things unsaid. Liam's sister hums softly while slicing fruit, trying to fill the silence. His father hides behind a newspaper. Emma forces herself to eat, though the taste of everything has gone dull. Liam smiles occasionally, but it's strained, his eyes refusing to meet hers. Every movement, passing salt, pouring coffee, feels rehearsed. She can't shake the image of the other woman, the one everyone pretends not to remember. The tension in the room wraps around her like invisible thread, tightening each time she breathes. She finds him outside, sitting on the porch steps, cigarette burning between his fingers. The scent of smoke mingles with damp air. "You lied to me," she says quietly. He looks up, eyes tired. "Does it matter?" She stares at him, searching for any trace of remorse. "It does if you loved her." His silence is her answer. Then, suddenly, he stands, cups her face, and kisses her. It's desperate, rough, as if trying to erase every question she has. When he pulls away, his eyes shine with something close to sorrow. "Some things you don't get to fix," he whispered. She doesn't know whether to hate him or hold him tighter. The morning after feels wrong before she even opens her eyes. The bed beside her is cold, sheets creased but empty. The air carries no sound, not his footsteps, not his voice. His suitcase is gone. His phone charger, too. She sits up slowly, heart pounding, trying to steady her breath. Maybe he went for a walk. Maybe he's making breakfast. But the silence keeps answering back. She walks into the hallway. No laughter, no scent of coffee. Only the distant hum of the refrigerator and the echo of her own pulse. When she opens the front door, the driveway is empty. He's gone without a word, leaving the warmth of last night to turn into frost. Downstairs, the family moves as if nothing's changed. His mother pours coffee, smiling too easily. His father reads the newspaper, pretending not to notice the tremor in his hand. His sister hums softly, eyes fixed on her plate. "Where's Liam?" Emma asks, voice unsteady. "Oh, he had to leave early." His mother replies, not looking up. "Business." Emma frowns. He didn't say goodbye. A pause long enough to feel rehearsed. "He didn't want to wake you." The answer slides across the table like ice. Emma forces a nod, but something inside her breaks. It's not confusion anymore, it's dread. By noon, she's pacing outside, trying his number again and again. Straight to voicemail. She checks her messages. Nothing. The last text he sent reads simply, "See you soon. But when? And where? And where?" The trees sway above her in the cold wind, their branches whispering secrets she can't hear. She calls his office. No record of him working there. The sinking feeling in her stomach becomes unbearable. She realizes she doesn't even know where he truly lives. Everything he told her could be a story he wrote for her to believe. And she had believed every word. The train ride home feels endless. Her reflection stares back at her from the window. Pale, tired, hollow. The countryside blurs past, just like the last 2 weeks. Every smile, every promise, every "I love you" replays in fragments. The seat beside her is empty, but she still catches herself turning to speak. The rhythmic clatter of the tracks becomes the only heartbeat she trusts. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he's gone forever. Maybe she never really knew him at all. She presses her forehead against the glass and for the first time lets herself cry. A week later, a letter arrives. No return address, no name. Just her first name written neatly in blue ink. Her fingers tremble as she opens it. Inside, a single page. "I'm sorry. I thought this would make it easier. Please don't look for me." No signature, no clue. Just the faint scent of cologne she still remembers from that night. She reads it again and again until the words blur. The house is quiet except for the ticking clock, each sound reminding her he's truly gone. But one thought keeps circling her mind. Why would leaving her be the easier choice? Days pass like fog, each one heavier than the last. The unanswered questions keep her awake. One morning, she decides to go back. The road feels longer this time, colder. The house at the end of the gravel path looks the same, but quieter. When she knocks, no one answers. Curtains flutter in the breeze, and through the dusty glass she sees the furniture covered in white sheets. The roses outside the porch have withered. She calls his name once, twice. Nothing. The silence feels final. It's as if the entire family disappeared with him, leaving only ghosts of what once felt real. A neighbor appears, wiping his hands on a rag, curious but cautious. She asks if he's seen Liam or his family. He squints, then shakes his head. "They moved out months ago," he says. "That place has been empty since summer." Emma blinks, her mind refusing the words. "No, they were here last week," she insists, voice cracking. He looks at her with pity. "Miss, no one's lived there in a long time." The world around her tilts slightly. The wind picks up, scattering dry leaves across the yard. She stands frozen, realizing she's been living in someone else's illusion. She walks around the house, finding an envelope stuck beneath the porch rail. Inside are receipts, notes, and photos, all for a rental listing. Each page bears the name Liam Hayes, but with a different address, different job title. At the bottom, a contract. Actors for private engagement, family role play experience. Her hands shake. His mother, his father, his sister. None of them were real. Her breath comes in ragged gasps as she sinks to the ground, papers spilling around her like fragments of a broken dream. He didn't introduce her to his family. He hired one. But why? Hours later, in a small cafe with flickering neon lights, she searches his name online. Dozens of results appear. Same face, different stories. One profile stops her heart. A wedding photo. He's smiling, holding a woman with soft brown hair and a child on his lap. The caption reads, "Our forever." The timestamp, only 3 months old. The phone slips from her hand. Her reflection in the dark screen looks like a stranger. All the dinners, the laughter, the promises, they weren't real. But the pain feels real enough to crush her chest. She walks home through the quiet streets, the city lights blurring around her. The truth sits heavy but clear. He wasn't who he said he was, but for a while, he made her believe in something beautiful. Maybe that's why it hurts so deeply. At the corner, she stops, looking up at the night sky. Somewhere out there, he's living another lie, or maybe just trying to forget her. Either way, the story they shared has ended, leaving her alone with the echo of a love that never existed. That night, she opens her laptop again. The cursor blinks like a heartbeat as she types a message to his real account. Her fingers hover over the keys, trembling. "I know who you are. I know everything. She hesitates, deletes the words, rewrites them softer. Why did you lie to me? Minutes pass. No reply. The screen glows pale in the darkness, illuminating her tear-streaked face. She refreshes once, twice, nothing. Somewhere in the silence between messages, she realizes he's truly gone. Not just from her life, but from the person she thought he was. The next morning, she returns to the cafe where they first met. The same table by the window, the same smell of roasted coffee and rain. She half expects him to walk through the door, to smile and say it was all a mistake. But only strangers pass by. She wraps her hands around her cup, trying to find warmth that isn't there. Every sound, the doorbell chime, the hiss of the espresso machine, feels like a memory replaying on loop. She wonders how many times he sat here rehearsing his lies, or if just once he meant any of it. The waitress recognizes her immediately. He hasn't come back, she says before Emma can even ask. Funny guy, though. Used a different name every time. Emma's heart sinks. Different name. The waitress nods, frowning. Sometimes Leo. Sometimes Adrian. Always paid in cash. Emma forces a smile and leaves a generous tip, though her hands tremble. As she walks out, the world feels thinner, like she's slipping through the edges of someone else's unfinished story. That night, Emma spreads all the photos and letters on her table. Every lie, every trace of him. But as she stares, she sees a pattern. Dates, times, places. All circling one hospital listed in his rental forms. Her heart races. Maybe this wasn't about love or deception. Maybe it was about something darker. She searches the hospital's public records. A patient named Liam Hayes. Terminal diagnosis. The date matches the day he vanished. Her hands tremble as she leans back, whispering to herself, he was dying. The truth doesn't comfort her. It devastates her all over again. Later, she records a voice message she'll never send. Her voice shakes as she speaks. I don't hate you. I just wish you'd told me the truth. I couldn't have stayed. She stops, swallowing tears. You didn't have to disappear to protect me. You just had to trust me. She listens to her own words echo back through the speaker before deleting the message. The screen fades to black, but for the first time, the silence feels less empty, like a wound finally beginning to close. Weeks later, her phone vibrates with an unfamiliar number. The voice on the other end is calm, hesitant. You don't know me, the woman says, but I think you knew my husband, Liam. Emma's breath catches. The woman continues, her tone trembling but kind. I found your number in his things. Can we meet? For a long time, Emma says nothing. Her chest feels tight, torn between anger and longing. Yes, she finally whispers. After the call ends, she sits in silence, staring at the wall. The truth is coming, and she's not sure if she's ready to hear it. They meet in a quiet cafe by the harbor. The woman looks nothing like what Emma expected. Kind eyes, weary smile, strength in her voice. He loved you, she says softly. Emma's chest tightens. Then why did he leave? The woman's gaze drifts toward the window, watching waves shimmer under gray light. He was sick. He didn't want you to see him fade, he said. You reminded him what it felt like to be alive. Tears burn behind Emma's eyes. All the anger drains away, replaced by something gentler. Grief mixed with understanding. That night, Emma lies in bed, replaying everything. The first laugh, the first touch, the first lie. But now each memory carries a new weight. His secrets weren't cruel. They were desperate. He wanted to be loved one last time without pity. She closes her eyes, seeing his face in the candlelight again, that half-smile hiding pain. For the first time, she doesn't hate him for it. Maybe love isn't about truth or lies, but about what we choose to remember when it's over. A month later, she visits the cemetery. The grass sways in the cool wind, sunlight soft and pale. His name is carved neatly into the marble, next to flowers left by someone else. She kneels, tracing the letters with her fingertips. "You didn't have to protect me," she whispers. "You already did." The breeze lifts her hair, carrying the scent of rain and earth. For the first time, she feels peace, not because the pain is gone, but because she finally understands why it had to exist. Weeks later, she returns to the same park where they first held hands. The world hasn't changed. Children laugh, leaves fall, life goes on. She sits on their old bench, closing her eyes. For a moment, she feels him beside her again. The warmth of his hand, the echo of his voice saying, "You'll love them." A smile spreads through her tears. Love, she realizes, isn't always meant to last. Sometimes, it just teaches us how to begin again. As she stands and walks away, sunlight breaks through the clouds, lighting her path forward.